I'm like,
sorry.
tell me
Sorry.
Oh, we're on.
We're on.
We are on. Hello. This is Spoonful of Nuts.
Yeah, we didn't tell Rodney shit about that. Sorry.
Anyway, we are Mixed Nuts. We're new to Spoon, and we are gonna try out this live cast thing on Spoon for podcasts. And also, we're recording this on Zoom, so that'll go up to our YouTube channel. Yeah, fun times.
How are you guys doing?
I'm tired.
So that's funny you say that. I actually woke up this morning feeling quite tired, and was that yesterday or today? No, it was this morning.
Yeah.
And I was messaging a friend of mine, and I was just like, I shouldn't be tired. It's not like I can't get enough sleep because there's nothing to do.
Right.
And yet somehow I am tired, as if I worked like a full shift or was on set for like a full 8-hour day or something crazy like that.
Well, for me, it's my sleep pattern has been changed by not having a regular work pattern, but also I just keep having like random bouts of anxiety about everything that's happening. So yesterday was a pretty great day. Like, I had some work hours. I was pretty productive. We did the table read last night. For those of you who are wondering what that is, Radnisha has been organizing script table reads and then putting it on Zoom. So that's fun to watch, acting out a movie,
put these headphones on,
whatnot. So we did that. It was great. I felt good. I watched a TV show. I went to sleep. And then I woke up having nightmares. And then read articles in the bed, which is not the best thing to do. And then, of course, the articles make me mad. And then my pattern now has been, I read an article about coronavirus. It makes me mad at what the government is not doing. And then I use ResistBot to write Congress. And then I feel like I've done something, even though I know I haven't really haven't. But in the moment, it calms me down, and then I go back to sleep. But that's like an hours process. So I'm not sleeping through the night.
That is a very involved situation.
I basically keep telling the president to do more, but we won't get into that.
It's funny because I saw your post on Facebook about that, and I didn't realize that this was a middle of the night thing. I was just like, oh, okay, writing the prez, trying to take action, very Cali, makes sense. But I didn't know you was doing it at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, some of them have been, yeah.
Ooh.
That's my new bedtime.
Ugh.
4 a.m.
A lot of people have said that since this has happened, I think especially artists, that hours have kind of shifted, and people are either staying up later or just like, it's like flip-flopping, like the hours that they're awake and the hours that they're asleep.
Yeah.
Or it's disturbing their sleep or what have you. So I think it's interesting because I feel like most artists usually tend to be night owls, I think. And I think I saw an article one time about that too, like how a creative brain has a different active hour or something like that. So I think for most artists who have day jobs, it's like they've had to train themselves to be a daytime person or a morning person. And I feel like now that that's not a factor, folks are going into their more natural.
Yeah, it's really easy to slip into nocturnal mode. Mm-hmm. You know me, I've always been a morning person. Like, I can get up early. I don't really try to get up early, but it happens anyway, and I'm most productive in the morning. Mm-hmm. But I realize that's just what I've been trained to do because I have studied sleeping in later, and that never happens.
That is interesting because, yeah, you are definitely one of the most morning people I know.
Yeah. And now I'm like starting my day at 10, which I know is still early for some people, but is not early at all for me. So.
Yeah, Darcy, your hours are starting to sound like what Eric's have shifted to. Because he's been staying up crazy late. And then
yeah, no, I've always
Wait, what's that? Oh, you froze. There you go.
Yeah, I thought you guys were freezing on me, so I was like, no, I've lost them. But and so we got a hey from Harley. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Harley. If anybody ends up wanting to do like a live call in, just let us know in the comments.
Hey, Harley.
To, like buzz you in as well.
Don't know you, but welcome.
But yeah, no, I definitely have always been a night owl. So the 4 a.m. thing is something I was kind of doing as a teenager, I guess. And so it feels right. I like it. And one perk of not having to is I feel normal again.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like I've been trying to somehow keep the usual rhythm and not fall too much into my natural rhythm, because I know it's gonna suck to have to go back to that and like hardcore retrain my sleep patterns when all of this goes back to normal. So yeah, I'm not saying I'm doing great at it, but I've been trying to like still wake up by a certain time or
Yeah,
whatever.
I had a telehealth meeting with a parent yesterday, and she was talking about how hard it was to keep her kid in the same schedule. She's trying to keep the school schedule. And I told her, I was like, at this point, they're not going back to school anytime soon. So do whatever schedule is going to work best for you. If he's going to fight you at 7 a.m. because he knows he's not leaving the house, then don't wake him up at 7 a.m. And we're just going to all have to readjust back to normal life whenever normal life happens again. So like, on the one hand, like, yes, you want to try to keep some kind of pattern, some kind of normalcy, but like, what the fuck is normal right now?
Nothing.
Exactly.
And for a kid, that's even harder because they have less comprehension. Like you said, it's like, well, I'm not going to school and I'm not leaving the house.
Right. The number one thing even though I'm not like working with all the parents, I've still just been like checking in with them. And the number one thing has been the kids are like, why am I doing schoolwork? I'm not at school. Like, they don't understand. Like, these kids are like, the fuck you want me to do? You want me to do what? Work?
Like, wait a minute, you're not my teacher.
Right.
This ain't my classroom.
I'm like, I want children, but I'm glad I don't have any right now.
Ooh.
All the people stuck at home with kids.
You are right about it. I don't envy that task. And shout out to all the mamas and papas who are getting a real taste of what this teacher life is like.
Right.
And full-time handling your kids. Like, of course no parent wants to think they're just like shipping their kid off for someone else to take care of them, but realistically, that's what school is. So it's like you have a percentage of the day that you have to manage your kids, and then you send them to somebody else to manage them for 8 hours. Now it's all
when
day.
they said, especially in LA, when they were telling all the other actors like, hey guys, your nannies can't come to the house anymore. And I was like, well, that's going to be interesting for some people.
And
deal with their kids.
I was gonna say, and especially those some people who may be more familiar with their nannies than their parents.
Oh, yeah, that'll be sad for some husbands.
Ooh, burn.
That's just a Tiger King reference, but we'll get into that later.
Daddy misses the nanny more than the kid does. Ooh.
You might want to be worried about that.
Ooh, tragic. Well, that's a life check-in. Where do we want to start today, guys?
Well, I would like to start with a little quickie.
Personal.
Is it? No. It's fun factoid. April is National Poetry Month.
And it is April 1st. Ooh.
It's April 1st. I have no trickery for April Fools. I do not. But
is that running around saying that 2020 has been a big enough joke as it is?
Yeah. 2020 has been a big enough joke. But I for National Poetry Month, I am going to attempt to do the Poem Everyday Challenge. So I'd like to share a little ditty.
Oh, you're gonna do it now? Oh, you're gonna share right now?
I do plan to do my personal live cast to do more poetry throughout Poetry Month on art by Callie if you want to follow. But look, I even have a little book and everything. It's National Poetry Month, April 2020. Poem every day. Okay, here's one. Today is a day for fools, or at least that is what they say. If I am the one who gets fooled, I don't consider it a good day. But if I am the fooler of the fool, I am the winner, hooray! So maybe it's not a day for fools, but an April Fool's Day. Right? No?
Snap.
I will snap that in.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Oh, man.
I feel like you're going to have too much fun with this month.
I see.
I hate April Fool's Day, though.
I feel like April Fool's Day is fun when you're a kid and pranks are minimal and it's just like, but as an adult, folks be getting real.
Right, because you either drop off and you don't do it anymore, but if you are the person who keeps doing it, you're an adult who does it, you go hard on your pranks. And I don't want to be pranked.
You know what it reminds me of? Okay. Have y'all both seen New Girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
April Fool's Day as an adult is Winston, where like your pranks are either so small that you don't notice them or they're so big that it's like, no, that's not okay.
That is just a horrible thing that you did.
That's what it should be. Winston Day. I bet if New Girl were still on and it were April Fool's Day, Winston would have self-proclaimed it to be Winston Day, and every prank would have been terrible.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh man, good stuff. Are you gonna do the Poetry a Day challenge on Hit Record?
Yeah, I plan to just write them in my little book, post it there, and then I'll probably share them on Spoon. Yeah.
I debated on, because I jumped on Hit Record yesterday or the day before, don't remember what day. And I was like, maybe I'll try to jump back into posting some stuff up there by doing poetry readings, some voiceovers.
Yeah, and see, normally that's what I do. Record, I'll do the voiceover every day for the songs because I don't really write that much usually. But right now, my recording and my computer capabilities just aren't that great, and I don't want to put up a bunch of staticky bad voiceovers. So
I feel that
I'm going to challenge myself to try to write something. They're not all going to be stupid, dumb ones like that, but I have to, that will be my.
It was fun.
I'm a little sad. I want them to all be stupid.
I was gonna say, have you tried doing VOs on your phone?
Yeah, it's not
closet.
Good.
It's not good? Okay, never mind.
It's not good. And I set up that, I did set up that like recording corner in my closet in my guest room a while back. So with my mic and my old computer that died, it was great. But right now, I don't have any way to edit and clean it up because I can't run that many programs on this old dinosaur computer that I'm using in the meantime right now. So
I feel that's
the problem.
Okay.
Which sucks because right now I feel like would be a good time to start pursuing voice acting again. There's nobody going.
Sure is. I will say though, and you just reminded me that the mic that Eric and I were sharing apparently died. Yeah, so that was not working. So he has the one that he used on his Rode mic for when we would do like booming. He still has that one. But the problem is there's no stand for it at present. So you'd have to hold it. Like there's no way to just like have it be centralized while you do voiceover. Yeah. So you either hold it and risk getting a lot of ambient sound or like put it on the table and then just top down to the table like that.
We're, Miles and I are thinking about trying to, pending the materials, we kind of want to build a voiceover booth.
Should. I'm surprised Miles hasn't done that already, actually.
Well, it's kind of trying to figure out the space, but also I kind of want to see if it's possible to also make it large enough to make it a self-tape booth. So it would be something that would have to maybe be weatherproofed and maybe put on a portion of the porch, since it's, you know, fenced in and all that good stuff. And it could, I want to make it look like a TARDIS or something. or like we were talking about making it look like a phone booth. So that we could step outside in different clothes or something and just really freak out the neighbors.
Oh, Lord.
But if it's possible to even do something like that to where, you know, if it's already soundproof, then for self-tapes, the sound's going to be really stellar. You can control the lighting. And still, like, I can still record from my phone. Somehow set up like a mountain there. You know what I mean? Like, it would be really cool to just be able to step in, switch on the lights. Oops, I just snapped right into the speaker. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
And then do your tape without having to.
So, question: is it what?
I was like, of course, if you need a reader, it's a problem.
See, that's what I was. You beat me to it. I was like, so what do you do about a reader in that booth?
Didn't pick that part for yet.
Well, you're thinking about it though, at least, because I was just like, wait, schematically, where do they fit?
It would have to be big enough for 2 people, probably. But that would be true. I don't know. I'm dreaming of building things.
All right, guys. How are we passing the time these days? Because we have so much of it.
So much time.
I shouldn't probably be admitting to this, but I hacked my mini NES, and I now have like 800 games on it. So I have so many super old games that half of them I don't even know what they are.
Which one of the old ones are you playing?
So
more of?
Well, Rob was playing a lot of them, but they have so many like Dungeons and Dragons NES games I didn't know about. We've also started to campaign of Dungeons D&D, so we're playing that as well off of the video games. But yeah, they have some super old ones like Marble Madness, which is an incredibly hard game. I remember getting really frustrated with it when I was like very small trying to play that game, and I didn't think as an adult it would be that hard. It's still that hard.
I don't remember Marble Madness.
It's hard as crap to control. Like, you're constantly falling off the edge of things, and when your marble falls off, it makes this little noise. It's so sad.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
Oh, you guys are gonna have to play this game. It's awful. It's so frustrating.
But that does sound like Toadstool's sound in Mario Kart whenever he falls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like the sad little opera of oh. It's so sad. But yeah, it's incredibly hard, and I can't even get past the first level. I used to get like almost to the end of the game as a kid, so clearly I've lost coordination somehow. But
that's funny.
That one's really good. And of course, all the Ninja Turtle. Like, I only remember 2 Ninja Turtle games. Apparently, they're like, because this encompasses any game
like the Japanese games.
Well, I didn't download. I got rid of anything that was not USA because I can't guarantee it'll work on my system. Otherwise, I would have had like 3,000 games. But it also encompasses anything that would have been in an arcade in the US. So I've got like 4 Ninja Turtle games.
I used to play the crap out of the Ninja Turtle ones.
What's the arcade we went to?
Named after the movie and the book.
Right?
Which one?
What isn't it? Is it called Ready Player One, or is it just one in North Hollywood? Yeah, they had the one game that was like the box.
That had all the box games, yeah.
So it had the Japanese versions and the 80s version and the 90s version and the US version. And so there were like
so many
10,000 games on this thing, like I kid you not. And we were
scrolling
like through and it was like, oh, there's 10 different versions of Frogger. There's 15 different versions of Mortal Kombat. It's just like the games just get repeated and repeated and repeated.
Insane.
Yeah. I've got like 6 different Tetris games. And then it's got like all of the Mega Mans. Just it's insane how many games are. I haven't even gone through all of them. That's
Speaking of Tetris, I remember the last time I was over there playing on y'all's system and was playing Dr. Mario. Man, I used to be good, or at least I thought I was good at that game, and then Rob smoked me. Like I was like, I am bad at this. I am losing very badly. And like, I don't know why. I feel like I could not get those stupid pills to move where I wanted them to move fast enough. And I was just like, I quit.
When they start dropping, people start to panic sometimes. The sad part is he can't beat me.
Oh, I just was like, forget it. Forget it.
And I think I've got like Wario or something like that on there too, and Yoshi's Island, and there's just so much.
Oh, Yoshi's Island was a good one. Cal, are you doing any games? Any gaming?
Any gaming? Just on my phone, I've been playing a bubble popping game. And also Woodblock, which is like is a Tetris-like game, except they're not falling pieces. You have to put them together to clear the lines. Yeah. And you can't change their direction. You just get what they give you. My dog just got off the couch in the most gingerly old person way.
Aww.
I don't understand, dog. You're still a pup. She's so lazy.
Tired.
It's like we feed off each other's laziness.
She's like, well,
because I'm home all day not doing much.
This is a side note, but was she surprised when you were home more? Because I know a lot of people were saying their pets kind of got thrown off when the quarantine started because they were just like, why are you here still?
What's funny is she got used to it very quickly though, because the first time I went out to do a grocery run after like a week and a half, she like flipped out and I was not even gone that long. And she was just like tripping balls when I came back excited. Like, oh my God, you're back. I'm like, Charlie, calm down. But
that's funny. I remembered seeing people post videos of like their cats and their dogs just kind of like eyeing their people from around the corner like, you're still here? When do you leave? This is my time.
There's that meme of the cat being like, listen, why are you in my house so much?
Whereas mine's like, you're here. Let me love you all the time. And then if I'm not paying attention, he goes and just makes trouble.
Charlie doesn't like when that I'm doing so many Zoom things.
Oh, because you're there, but you're not there.
Right. So like right now I'm on the couch, right? And she's fine. She's laying under me. She'll lay behind me. She's whatever, because the couch is where we are. But if I'm having a meeting or like the table read, or I want to use the green screen background, I'm at the kitchen table and that's like work time. And she's like, why are you over there? I don't want to hang out by the kitchen table. And sometimes she'll lay under it, but she's not happy about it. She's like, you need to be close to me on the couch. She's so needy.
I was gonna say, I'm sure there are plenty like of animals who wish their people were around more, and now it's like, yes, but still somehow, oh man, like, can't win. I haven't been gaming. What?
So mine is not really on man stage yet. He's just soaking it up.
I mean, it might help that probably because before Rob was still home a good bit, versus if both of y'all were gone all the time, maybe he'd be more, you're here.
He's just
speaking of games, Julie said she's playing Gardenscapes and Covet Fashion. Covet fashion is fun, Darcy.
Covet fashion, man.
What is that?
Fashion designing, and the makers of Covet Fashion also do design home. Design home is really fun.
Oh,
that's another one. Anything with like designing sucks me right in because I'm like, oh, you mean I can make things?
This sounds like I should not download or know of at all. That's what it sounds like. There's a few.
I took them off my phone because I had too much stuff on my phone, but I played them a lot when I had them.
Yeah, I took everything off my phone because I had a problem. And everybody, she said Animal Crossing. Everybody is like Crossing, and I don't understand. Like I heard that it's kind of like a phone game, and that you run out of things to do. I guess like you have to wait for things to happen.
I know a lot of people are doing it and putting their codes up. And I asked someone today because I was just like, is this another Pokemon Go thing? Like, is that what this is? I don't know what it is. Someone tried to explain to me, and then they were like, go see my page to find out more about what it is. And I was just like, I'll
I don't want to get it because I don't want to get addicted to it, because it's just like building your world and you can visit other people's worlds. And then I think it's more akin to like
Farmville?
Well, yes and no, and kind of like Sims though, because you can control your person and go do other things with other people. So people are like, yeah, we just gonna sit here and fish together, virtual fishing, yeah. Or
I get that people want it for connection, but as somebody who purposely did not play Sims because I knew I would do terrible things with
Sims was the greatest.
I never really got super into Sims. I guess I'm just truly not a gamer. I think that's really what it is. I just need to recognize that. I did Sims when I was a kid, but even when I played it as a kid, I still never like hung out on it that long. I think because I don't know.
I don't care to do Sims now with the good graphics. Like I want nostalgia Sims. Like I want 90s.
I want my block people.
Where you like, I would like beg for like an expansion pack so I could get more houses and more jobs and I'd build like houses with 5,000 doors around it, or I would put like, I don't know, put like furniture in people's paths and watch them like flip out because they couldn't get around it, and you'd be like, walk around the table, what are you doing? And they'd be like, oh, I can't move because the table's in front of me, guess I'll just piss my pants here. Like Sims were wild.
They are. See, this is how much of a nerd I am, because I realize I like puzzly games, and you saying old school Sims made me think of the game that I used to play all the time when I was like middle school or high school, when I wasn't on my gaming system, and it was Jeopardy.
Oh,
Jeopardy.
I have Jeopardy.
I used to play hours and hours of Jeopardy.
One of the first things that made Rob play with me was Wheel of Fortune.
That was another one.
I've got 4 different versions of Wheel of Fortune, because there's like an anniversary edition, there's like a master's edition, and then there's a couple of Jeopardies, there's a Family Feud, which you have to think of like how to answer the questions like in 80s and 90s.
I actually used to have a Wheel of Fortune board game. Did y'all have one of those? Did y'all know that it existed?
No.
It does. It does. And it had like little windows you could flip. I think if I remember right, there were little like cardstock cards that you could slide into a flip board, and then you could turn the letters like Vanna White. And I dug that so hard.
That's really funny.
I would have loved that.
Wow.
I would have loved a Price is Right game. I think they had one of those, right?
I love the Price is Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember if they had it. I don't know. I don't remember.
That would have been my jam. I wish there was one. I I don't think they have one for NES. They may have come out with one for like another system along the way. If not, they should have, because that would have been amazing.
I like Family Feud, but anytime I've tried to play it on
that was another one I used to play.
Or on the computer, I'm a terrible speller, so I'll get stuff wrong because I'm not typing it right, and then and I'll be like, I said that. I didn't spell it.
That did happen sometimes. Yeah.
The NES one, or the one that I have at least, I guess is one of the first iterations of it. If your guess is close to what they're looking for, they take it.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Because the version I played definitely didn't take into account like things that were close. But I was like, that's a similar.
That's when spell check came into being, and they're like, "You got spell check, use it."
Oh man, yeah, gaming. So the funny thing is, I thought about adding Words with Friends back on my phone, but then I was like, no, as I told you guys before, I'm just very limited on phone space. So a lot of my decisions have been geared by that. So it's like, no, you can't add that game. You have no room. So you don't get to play. But the one game I do still have that is sadly still an addiction of mine is stupid Merge Dragons. I can't.
You still play Merge Dragons?
I'm still playing Merge Dragons. It's because I haven't completed the land that you're building. And I'm like, until I clear all of this land, I cannot stop this game. I am a completist. I have to finish what I started. And once that happens, I'll gladly let it go. But until then,
it is a great little game, though. It is fun.
Oh. So that's my one gaming thing that's happening right now. What? Anybody watching anything fun?
Start with.
Well, I just finished Tiger King. You guys.
Oh, Tiger King.
Tiger King the day it came out. And I was posting like, oh my God, you guys watch Tiger King before a lot of people were posting.
And I was
true.
No, Callie, I will not bend to your Tiger King ridiculousness. And then
our
Alicia gave it.
Well, what's funny is I kept seeing Callie post about it, but I didn't know what the heck she was talking about. And then at that point, I wasn't seeing, too many people posting about it, but Callie was one, and there may have been like a few other folks I knew that were like, I think I'm going to check out Tiger King. And so when Callie got to the end, I think you posted about it once it was over. And that's when I jumped on and I was just like, what is this thing? Like, I don't understand what you're talking about or what anybody else is talking about. And I had just gotten off of the Love is Blind train. So I was already coming out of one crazy thing.
Managed to avoid Love is Blind. I didn't.
Oh, but you should watch it.
No. I haven't watched it. I loved the.
What?
No, I had no desire to watch a dating game.
Mom, but you watched The Circle, though?
Yes, I loved The Circle. I want to be on The Circle. I applied already, but it's a waiting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I had zero interest in The Circle.
I loved The Circle because I have not seen anything like it. It was like completely new concept-wise. And so
okay, all right. Help me understand, because my sister was watching it too, and I was talking with her about it the other day, and I was just like, isn't this just like virtual catfishing? That's what this seems like. I don't understand.
They're not all catfishing, though.
Okay, but what's the point of it?
To win money. It is a game, right? So it's interesting to see like who's like, okay, I'm going to win these people over by being genuine, and who's like, I'm going to win these people over by being what they want me to be. I'm going to catfish. So some people choose to go to the catfish route, and some people don't. So I thought it was hilarious. And, I love Michelle Buteau, right? This premiered right after we went to go see her in comedy. So the only reason why I tried it was because I knew she was going to be the
host. She hosting?
So I didn't realize, I saw her share it, and then I watched the trailer, and I was like, this seems so stupid. but I'm gonna watch it for her because support, right? For their culture. But then I watched one episode and was like, what? I have to keep watching this. And if they had released it all at once and not done like weekly, I would have watched it all in one sitting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I'll watch it. I probably won't watch it at this point because it's past the time. But maybe, I don't know. We've got so much of it.
Well,
Maybe
there's other versions too. So I think I don't remember.
Oh, I saw something about a UK, either the UK or somewhere.
Yeah.
One of them went up.
There's, I think maybe 2 other versions up already, but there's definitely going to be more coming because they built these buildings specifically to film this in such a way that everyone can maneuver around. I assume they each have their own floor, so they can all maneuver around without coming into contact with each other. They do not see each other until the finale.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we're slightly.
Be filming now. I said they could potentially film during quarantine.
Oh yeah, that one could be filming during quarantine.
Yeah.
But for the crew and camera people, I feel like that'd still be.
That's true. But I also like it because the house is the circle, right? So the house talks to them and alerts them, and they can't get away from the notifications. It's crazy.
Ooh,
This sounds like an episode of Black Mirror.
It's like it reminds me of the setup reminds me of Big Brother, which was not a reality show that I liked. But then you add in the component of that they don't get to see each other at all, and that they can choose to be someone else if they want to be, and that makes it more current.
Interesting. I know. Yeah. We'll see. I might check it. I just couldn't figure out why. And the funny thing too is that even with Love is Blind, because I don't do reality dating shows, I think the last reality dating show I ever watched was probably Flavor of Love.
Oh,
and
Flavor
who knows
of Love. That's actually the last one I've ever watched too.
And that was because I watched the reality show with him and Brigitte Nielsen. So I only was like, well, now I got to see what this fool is doing with these other women. But that's probably the last thing I remember watching that's a dating show. I can't get into Bachelor or any of these other shows. And I think the only reason I did Love is Blind was because I kept hearing about this Mark person. And I was just like, who is Mark? And why is he dumb? And why is everybody talking about him like this? Like, who is this man? And my friends were over one night. And I was like, have y'all heard about this Love is Blind? And we were talking about it. And I was like, let's just watch an episode because I just want to see. And that one turned into like 3 hours later.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
But it's because it's nonsense. Here's the thing. With the exception of Cameron and Lauren, and even them, I was like, they're cute and they're clearly into each other, but this is still nonsense. Like, this is still ridiculous. It's just too much too soon. But with the exception of them, everybody else is just insane. And the whole concept is insane. And I think I was just literally like,
my problem is, even if I don't like something, for the most part, if it has that train wreck, can't turn your head away effect, then I will sit there and watch all of it. And I don't want to do that. So that's why I haven't started Love is Blind. Because I just know the memes and all the commenting that I will watch it all the way through if I start.
You will. You absolutely will. That's what happened with me. And again, it is what it is. The show is what it is. And I fully knew that going into it. I don't know if I'll watch season 2. Like, now that I've seen this one, I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't know that I really care about future couples or any of that stuff. But it was definitely an interesting new concept at the dating show angle. And it was absolutely fascinating to see a character, and I'm talking about Jessica, completely unravel on camera and have zero self-awareness of her unraveling. Zero. And also to watch a man be so into a girl and have zero awareness that she giveth two F's about this man, whether he were alive or dead. I don't care what anybody says. She did not love that man and did not want to be with him. Oh, it's a mess. Oh, it's a mess.
Okay, that tempts me just a little bit, but no.
See?
No.
See, that's what happened with me in 90 Day Fiance, right? I got to the 90 Day Fiance so late, and I sat with my friends. We had a girls' night, and they talked about season after season and couple after couple. And then I was like, well, shit, now I have to watch this. And I'm like, this show is so stupid. I hate these people. And I watched every single episode that was available on Hulu.
My sisters did that to me. And same thing, because they kept talking about it with each other. And like, here's the thing. I love my sisters. I love them dearly. But they are very into trash TV. And they admit it. Like, they like courtroom TV. They like all the reality stuff. Like, they're just, and they know it's trash, but they love it. So they would always talk about 90 Day Fiance. And I would just be in the middle of their conversations like, who is what? And they're doing what? And what? And so finally I was just like, okay, what is this show? And they're like, girl, listen. These people are trying to get into the country and da-da-da-da, and they're meeting and da-da-da-da, and da-da-da. And I was like, all right. And then we sat and watched a few episodes, and then I was just like, well, okay, well, wait, what happens? Do these two stay together? Do they, does he know that she don't, what? And so, yeah, they got me.
Yeah, and because of you two fools, I ended up watching some of that crap. I was like, well, clearly she just wants a green card.
Right.
And I don't understand. Are they still together? Like, what's happening here?
Girl,
no.
Yeah. It's true. And like, what me and my sisters were talking about was how the couples where it's so obvious that someone's just trying to get into the country, but they're smart. These dudes in these other countries are smart about, I'm gonna just say it, about middle America, white women. Like, they know if they target these women, those women will think that they are just the most special thing ever, and that they just happen to win the lottery of hot men.
They do.
And they fall hard, and they're just gonna give away their paycheck, their child, I don't know what else, to get this man in the country.
Plus, they've got accents, and that's rough.
Right. There is the one lady who, the fiance comes over from someplace in Latin America. I don't remember. A lot of them are from Colombia on the show. And they have a big old falling out, and he leaves, right? And so the producer's like, the woman's crying, and the producer tries to find her, and it's like, well, so what's gonna happen? We're close to the 90 days. If the wedding's off, he's gonna get deported, right? And she's like, I already married him. And the producer's like, what? And she's like, well, we were just talking, and we just thought we had paperwork and stuff that needed to be done. We just thought it would be easier. So they had snuck away from the producers, the show producers, and got married already, like very close to the beginning of the 90-day period, and just still played out the whole 90 Day Fiance show. And then he just disappeared. And it was like, bitch, he left you. He got, like, you got so played, right? And then they bring him out in the
reunion.
The reunion. And he comes out and he's like, well, he's back. And I'm like, you really think he's back, or he just came back for this reunion paycheck?
To get paid for the reunion.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
I'm so sure he was gone after that reunion.
Yes, yeah. I can't watch this stuff because it's quarantine and it's making me touch my face just talking about it.
That's a good point. Now, going back to Tiger King.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
That one did, I didn't do as much of the face as I did with Love is Blind, but I think I was just like this the whole time, like, what? Like,
the beauty of Tiger King was that the way they unfolded every episode, you were like, can't get crazier. And then the last seconds of the episode teased the next one, and you were like, shit's about to get crazier. How? How, Sway? How? How's it about to get crazier right now? And then they did it. And then what's even more crazy is that there are so many factoids about Joe Exotic coming out that you're like, Okay, part 2 now. He don't need to be out of jail for part 2. Like, start filming, start interviewing people, because there's
You
so
could.
much more.
Oh yeah.
Could.
Yeah.
They probably are.
Shaq already had to like release a statement saying he's not friends with him.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, are you friends with him?
Because I don't know about friends, but he'd probably be at that zoo a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't own those tigers. I'm like, you sure about that?
But what was I gonna say? Oh, I saw a video today that the comedian Kev on Stage put out. Someone had, I guess, put on Twitter like, "Oh, you guys, I just found this footage of Joe Exotic. And then you play the video, and it's him talking about why he's mad that he can't say the N-word.
Oh yeah.
And Kev on Stage was like, "Are people really surprised by this? He's a white man from Oklahoma with a tiger zoo, and he puts an I in can't. Anyone that says can't wants to say the N-word."
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm like, people be acting real surprised about the most unsurprising shit.
Right? I mean, I'm like, is he a weird, mysterious, strange anomaly of a man? Yes. But he absolutely is still a white man in Oklahoma, I guarantee.
He's also, when he wears the glittery shirts, looks like a Lisa Frank drawing brought to life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
He has a very elaborate costume for every occasion. He puts on the paramedic jacket when...
I know. I saw that.
It's like, did somebody call for an EMT?
Right? Are you ain't no EMS? Like, what the fuck? And then, like, he wore a priest. Wait.
Oh, the collar.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear Darcy? Was she talking?
Oh, yeah. I was just, when he was wearing the jacket, I was just like, why is he wearing an EMT jacket?
Because he can.
Right. Right. Yeah, and then he had the priest collar on his husband's funeral.
The funeral, right? Okay, so what's funny is I noticed that, and it took me a second to be like, well, wait, why is he wearing, what does this mean?
But you are not a priest, sir. It's not an occasion for a costume, but for Joe Exotic, every occasion is
every occasion
costume, because he is so narcissistic. He needs a camera person following him everywhere he does. That's another thing that's so amazing about it, is because he's such a narcissist, they had so much footage, like so much footage, that it wasn't just interviews and, you know, filling in with like shots of, you know, filler shots of
he
things.
Wanted everything.
It was like actual footage that they had, because he just thought everyone needed to be watching him. When the producer that he hired was like, yeah, before I came on and started producing his show, he had like 6 viewers a week, and he thought he was hot shit. Like, I love that. That's crazy.
That is when you know you're dealing with someone who they just think they're a star, regardless of whether they've been validated or not. They just believe they belong in the stratosphere of the canon of celebrity.
Sense of grandeur, completely.
Yeah.
But that is crazy.
I'm also kind of curious why, I mean, everyone's posting memes, and for some reason they seem to really focus on Carol Baskin, which I find interesting. I'm getting a phone call from Georgia. Hang on just a second. There we go. Declined. Declined. Unless you are trying to hire me for a movie, I'm declining you. In which case, call my agent, not me. She's free to take your call, as are most of the agents in the country. Crap. Oh, why is no one bringing up the fact that while Doc Antle is clearly a cult, and he really doesn't like talking about that, we'll get to that later, but Joe essentially kidnaps 19-year-old straight men and drugs them.
He laughs about it too. He was like, well, it's not like there's a lot of pickings of gay men in Oklahoma, so
he did say that.
That's the straight ones, like literally drugs them to keep them around.
and brainwashes them somehow to keep them. Like, none of his husbands were gay.
Yep.
Not even Dylan. Like,
none of them.
They gloss over, it took me 3 days to get him to go on a date with me, and then he never went home.
It's true. None of them did.
No one found that strange. Like, they just kind of glossed over.
People absolutely did. There were definitely memes that I saw going around a lot about that particular subject matter, which is crazy.
In the show, though, they just didn't address that very much. They were so focused on like the drama with him, and
it's probably because, one, they probably already knew the angle they wanted to focus on, which was the cat feud situation.
Well, yeah, the tagline is the murder for hire, though. So
right.
That's always the focus.
So I think it's that, and then I'm sure that's probably more of it was just more so they wanted to stay on that angle, because I'm sure if they went down that rabbit hole, it'd be a whole other.
Well, yeah, and I've said this before. It's like the true thing is that any single one of those big cat place owner things could have an entire different documentary series about only their sanctuary, only their zoo, and it would be just as much, because like the most normal person on this show was the man who was like a big drug cartel dealer and went to jail, and like, you know, they went to his compound, and he seemed like the most sane one out of all of them, and he was the least talked about. I was like, oh no, that's another docuseries. Make that
is.
I want to know more about him putting drugs in animals to bring the animals in, and like what?
Oh, man. Yeah. And wouldn't it be crazy though if they did make a continuous series out of this by focusing on a different tiger person? Like maybe you got Joe Exotic as the Tiger King, and then you get Tiger Queen with Carol Baskin, and the Tiger Prince with, or the Emperor, the Czar. I don't know. I just feel like that'd be hilarious.
They definitely could, for sure.
I mean, Bhagavan is clearly killing cubs, so
yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Can we talk how who does Jeff Lowe know that he's not in prison?
Jeff Lowe, you know what? Someone made I saw it today. Someone made a comparison chart of all of the people from Tiger King and their parallel people from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it was.
And they had him with
for Joe. Joe is Joffrey. He is not Jon Snow.
Yeah, I don't know where the Jon Snow came from, unless it's just the dumb factor, like I know nothing, which is true. But yeah, they had him with what's his name, bald guy. I just forgot his name. Just went out of my head.
They had Jeff Lowe with Ramsay.
They had him with the bald guy. No, I thought
they had James.
Wait, who's Jeff Lowe? Now I'm forgetting who Jeff Lowe is.
Jeff Lowe is the guy that.
Oh, is that Vegas guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about the red hair dude. I literally can't keep all their names straight. It's really sad. Except for the main two.
Chucky doll is Varys.
Varys, thank you. That's who I was thinking of. No, Jeff Lowe, listen, I feel like his head's on a chopping block, and he needs to watch his step, because I feel like this has kind of revealed a good amount of things with him.
Here's the thing, like, he openly incriminates himself and got a slap on the wrist. Like, there's footage of him getting a slap on the wrist and not even doing jail time. Like, clearly, there's something going on there.
Probably.
With all the priors.
Listen, and here's the other thing, too. Homeboy talks about swinging with him and his wife. So I bet they've had a number of weird orgy things with a lot of powerful people that they probably.
Well, that's what he does. On people. So I'm like, who does he have? He must have dirt on somebody big.
Everybody, a lot of people, probably.
To have the feds not put him away.
Homeboy seemed very confident about not being touched. So
yeah, because the whole murder for hire plot was essentially like he was basically running that whole thing, and he's not even remotely in trouble for it.
Crazy.
I have questions.
Oh, we all have questions.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that guy.
Also, Carol did it.
Listen, I mean, I wasn't fully questioning it, but you know what was the moment for me? When she showed her wedding picture with her new husband on a leash, like a cat.
Yes.
And her just like choke chaining him. And I was just like, oh no. Oh no.
But it was a joke. She was doing this.
Throwing your head back. Yeah, no. She did it. I got into a long conversation on the internet with somebody I didn't know, which, you know, I do not recommend. Every time I do that, I'm like, Callie, you know not to go to the comments. But this
Don't talk to strangers.
Carol to me. And she was like, really? The only person, really, you're going to trust Joe Exotic like he's the same person, like he's the best source? And I was like, literally everyone I talked to except for her new husband thinks she did it. Her late husband's family thinks she did it. They are afraid to talk because she has threatened them, and we have seen her threaten other people on camera, so that's not unbelievable to hear that. Even the investigators are like, yeah, she probably did it, but we got to follow the law. we need
that. Do you remember the lawyer guy they talked to?
Yeah.
And they asked him, do you think she did it? And he was just like,
yeah, he's like,
he's like, no,
to be fair about the family, like, supposedly they were disowned and they still got some money. So they seem kind of just like bitter Bettys about the whole.
Were they? Because he still had his daughter working stuff for him. So
that wasn't his daughter. That was his executor. Like, she worked for him.
The one who, one who they were interviewing about, like, his being his secretary. Yeah.
Supposedly, like, his family
was thinking of
get nothing.
Right, because Carol is manipulative and had him, like, disown his family. Like that.
Yeah, supposedly he disowned them. She still gave them some money.
Yeah, because that's a good story to tell.
Yeah.
You know,
I was gonna say the problem is homeboys
money and threatened them to not ever ask for anything more. It was
right. I mean, again, homeboy's dead, so she can say whatever she wants about how it actually went down, and we'll never know.
Sure. I want to see paperwork of him like writing them out of the will to prove it.
Right.
But then, even if you saw paperwork, you don't know the intent. So that's the thing. It's like you could still see that.
Manipulated into, not even just elderly people, but people get manipulated into changing their wills all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, we will never know because homeboy is sleeping with the tigers.
Oh, in my heart, she did.
Oh, man.
Anyway, if y'all out there are watching Tiger King or have watched it, if you haven't watched it, I don't know how you haven't seen it at this point.
Well, poor Julie has not because she doesn't have Netflix right now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a factor. That's a factor.
Yeah. But
if you have the ability to watch it, I say watch it.
Yeah, with all the memes and again, the timing of it being like coming out just before quarantine, it's like one of those, it's a generational thing. It's a thing that it's that big that people remember. Like there's things, I think a lot of people will binge on Netflix or something and then there'll be some memes about it and then it'll go away. And like a year later, if someone brings it up, you're like, oh, I forgot all about that. I don't think we're going to forget about Tiger King.
I don't think so.
Until Netflix drops some new thing. Listen, Netflix has kind of been on it with the docudrama live, or what do you call it?
Yeah, I love the Love it.
Like they are on it. Because I thought that way about Making a Murderer for a long time too.
Yeah, that's true.
That was another definitive one.
Evil Genius is really good. It's about the bank robber that attached the bomb to the man's neck. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then did y'all see the one about not Manson?
Oh, Ted Bundy.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Oh yeah, that was good. And they did that really smartly, right? Because they it was paired with the series with Zac Efron playing him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. So they did that on purpose, right? So you saw all the clips of him being super charismatic, and then you saw that scripted one. They were both really good. That was that just reminds me when they were first showing the trailers for the Zac Efron one, people were like mad, like, why are you trying to sexualize
I'm like, do y'all not know Ted Bundy?
Right, exactly. And I'm like, okay, watch the documentary that just came out, because you need to understand, like, that's why this man was able to kill so many people and go uncaught for so long, because he was charismatic and he was every guy next door and everyone with him.
Because he was pretty.
Yes.
It's called a lure.
It's crazy.
Homeboy talked himself out of so many things and hopped around so many places. I was just like, what?
His personality reminded me of Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Catch Me If You Can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like he could just talk his way into anything, like fake certificates and
that fool talked his way, or am I thinking of a different documentary? No, I think that was the Ted Bundy one. Now I think I might have merged it, but I think it was that one where he talked himself into the girl that this is a different one. I don't know. I just remember the girl he like kidnapped and had her on the run with him, and then her family kept calling and trying to ask about her and trying to connect with her, and then he like slept with the mom and the dad. What was that? Which one was that? What was that? I don't think it was a Ted Bundy one. I think my wires are getting crossed, but it was equally crazy. Anyway, all this to say, yeah, Netflix and true crime.
Yeah. The one you're talking about is the one, what is that called? Where everyone was mad at the parents because they were like, how did you let this guy get so close? That was a whole nother series. I don't remember what that one was called though.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Abducted in Plain Sight.
Abducted in Plain Sight. Yeah, that was crazy too.
That was another one of those where at the end of each episode you were just like, wait, what?
They do a true crime documentary really well. I did just watch one about the Unabomber, and it didn't seem to follow the usual Netflix pattern, and I found myself not liking it. Because I think the reason why they're so good is obviously they pick crazy stories, right? But also they have a way of unfolding things that even if you already know the story, even if it's like more current crimes that like you're like, oh, I was alive for that, I remember that, they still make it suspenseful, which I think is really good. It's kind of taking components of script writing and it. The true story stuff, but this Unabomber one wasn't that good.
Maybe they didn't have as much hands-on with, like, maybe it was some ones that they bought as opposed to like one that they spearheaded.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I was watching it kind of like, this is on in the background, but I'm not like, I need to.
You're not invested.
Yeah, there were some interesting factoids about him that I didn't know though, but meh.
Anything else you guys watching?
I just finished rewatching all of Dexter, which Dexter, oddly enough, I didn't watch it. It's the second time I've watched it all on Netflix. I didn't watch it when it was airing on Showtime, or no, I think maybe I came late to it while it was on Showtime, and then it had that long hiatus, right? Because the main actor had cancer and they paused, right? But then I watched all of it. My mom and I watched all of it back when Netflix was the DVDs in the mail. So we would always, during the school year when we were busy, we would have our subscription be 1 DVD at a time, and then we'd bump it up to 3 DVDs at a time when it was summertime, because we knew we'd have time to binge, and Dexter was one of the ones we binged. So I've been like flipping past it for a long time, like I should rewatch it, and I finally did. And for whatever reason, I remembered seasons 1 through 5 very vividly, and then the rest of it was like, oh, I forgot this happened. Oh, I forgot this happened. So I was like rewatching a new show these past couple weeks.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, Julie said she's been watching Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I haven't started that yet. Have you guys watched that?
I have not.
It's on my list. It looks good.
It's another musical show, which that's part of why I want to watch it. But the premise is that the girl, I don't know if something happens, like an accident or something, but all of a sudden she can hear people's inner thoughts, but she hears them in song.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
What does that come on?
I think NBC, because I always see promos for it when I'm watching The Good Place.
It's on Hulu.
I need to try it.
So if I remember right, it is on Hulu. I think it started off either as a Hulu show, or NBC put it up on Hulu first, and then when they got a following, they put it in their lineup or something.
Hulu's good. That means I can go back and watch it. Julie said it's an earthquake while she's in an MRI. That's a new way to get some powers.
Wouldn't that be terrible to be in an MRI machine when an earthquake happens?
That sounds terrifying, actually.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that would literally shake some things up. But yeah, I haven't gotten to that one. I do want to watch that one. Darcy, what have you been watching?
Sort of off and on with rewatching Attack on Titan, which keeps getting depressing, so I have to stop. It's good, don't get me wrong, like it sucks you in with the story and you keep watching it, but it keeps on like breaking your heart.
Aww.
And making you sad. You're like, I should stop watching this next episode. I should really stop watching this next episode. You're just like, I can't watch this anymore, and you finally turn it off. But yeah, no, it's sorry, Julie just commented about on Zoe. Peter Gallagher's in it, who I love, but apparently they auto-tuned the shit out of Lauren Graham. Oh no,
that's not super surprising.
No, Lorelai, no.
I think mostly because, like, I'm sure she's a decent singer, but she's also aging, and I feel like a lot of aging actors, especially if they aren't like performing regularly, it's probably harder for them to sustain some.
It takes training to keep that up.
I'm
gonna get sirens.
Sorry. I swear to God, it's not as bad today, but I think maybe 2 days ago, I feel like they were like doing stings on social gatherings in my area. I hate getting sirens, and normally I'm not too far from a hospital, so normally if it goes by, it's an ambulance, but it was cops over and over again all day long. I think they were busting up social groups, which is crazy.
Yeah, we've had helicopters the past like several days, like just constantly, so I think they've been doing the same for us.
Crack down, baby.
That's crazy. Like, stay your ass home. Jesus.
Stay home. Every time I try to go to work or the grocery store, everybody's just walking around.
I feel like part of that is people being stir crazy and they just can't be in their house. I think that's
with their children too, and I'm just like,
and that's probably even more the case because them kids is like, get me out of here. I'm not saying it's right or good, but I'm sure these parents are just like, whatever, we'll go to the grocery store and and nobody can get mad.
They don't have any bags. They're out there rollerblading. If you don't have a dog that you're walking out of necessity, take your ass home.
What I don't get is that people are like, hey, I'm allowed to go for a walk. I'm going to go for a walk, but then they don't adjust their plans when they see a crowd. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I've been trying to walk Charlie daily still, but there's far more people out walking than there usually are. So I'm like, you know what? We're not going to go right now because I don't want to be zigzagging to avoid people. Like, this is too many people out. It's time to go home.
I'm sad because the first few days of quarantine around here, nobody was out. And I remember going, like, hiking up the hill, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's dead out here. If it stays like this, that's going to be perfect. Nope. That did not last long. And so I went for a walk, I don't know, it was a few days ago. And I tried to wait, and apparently they're just, unless you get up crazy early and go do it, I think you're just going to run into people no matter what time of day. And so,
right.
And it was a lot of people zigzagging. And it's funny, I feel like, so I was walking and this old man was coming up, like, as I was going down, and he saw me and, like, got into the street to walk past. But I think he thought that I thought that he was doing it because race. And so he was just like, it's 6 feet, it's 6 feet. It's, you know, I'm going because, you know, social distancing. And I was like, dude, it's fine. Like, I think he got so worried that I was going to be offended by him getting in the street. And he was just like, well, you know, 6 feet. I gotta.
The same thing the very first time I did it because it happened to be an Asian woman, which in Gardena is predominantly Korean and Japanese. There's a lot of Asian people. So she made a face at me, and it didn't occur to me right then. And I was like, oh shit, she thinks I'm racist. So then I would like make a point to like wave and say hi as I'm crossing the street. People, I'm like, I'm still being friendly. I just don't want to walk past you.
I think that's what a lot of people are doing, so it doesn't seem like it's personal.
Right.
Just being like, hey there, I'm gonna go this way. Hope you're having a good day. And
right.
It's just funny because to me, it's just like, it kind of shows how there's very underlying currents of obvious things that people don't, you know, like it just makes me think like the whole, if race weren't an issue and, oh, we're past race, but then things like this, it's like, are we? Because everybody's trying not to offend someone and seem like they're being racist, even though we all know what it is right now, which is what it is. I just thought that was funny.
Having like the opposite problem because people are not distancing wherever I'm going. And so I'm like trying to just get to the car from my shift yesterday. That street that we normally walk down for whatever reason was just littered with people. And so I just walked down the middle of the road to stay away from them because none of them were distancing. And they were just all like bunched up. And I was just like, well, if I get hit by a car, like, at least it won't be by you a-holes. And then I went to grab some last minute supplies because I didn't want to drop, the first or the third to mess up any of the WIC, and food stamp stuff. So I wanted to go grab things before the first of the month hit. And everybody was just like up on each other, especially in the aisles. And I was just like pressed up against canned food, like, can you motherfuckers get away from me, please? And they're all looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, I'm sorry, did you miss the memo about the pandemic right now?
Yes.
Right.
I'm gonna need you to step away. And finally, like, there were people that work at the Ralphs that were kind of like patrolling a little bit, and like a guy came down and was like, you guys need to like get away from her because you're way too close. Because he was just like, she's the only one that's trying to like keep social distancing, and you guys are just up on her. And they're like, oh. That's why.
People are,
why? And he's like, thanks for trying to maintain it. I'm like, I'm gonna die in this store. This is what's gonna do it.
Hey, Darcy. click your video and turn it off and turn it back on or something. Because
Oh yeah, she frozen.
you froze it. Yeah, you're dark on my end. I don't know what happened.
Hold for technical difficulties.
Sorry, guys.
Can you see me now?
And you're still frozen on my screen.
Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah, your audio never broke up, but
That's weird.
yeah.
I'm just gonna go here and dun, 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 dun.
I tried to like see if I could turn on your video, but from my end it says your video is on. It's just black.
Yeah. This happened to a friend of mine when we were chatting one day where like one thing would work but the other wouldn't, and it took a while before it, so like she would turn her video off and her audio would be working but no video. And then she would turn her sound on and her video would come on but her sound would be off.
That's
and
so weird.
It was weird.
Oh man.
I don't know what she did that fixed it. I think it was just a series of turning things on and off until everything just reset.
Any better? Am I still frozen?
Try muting yourself and then unmuting yourself. That's what she did.
Well, on my side, it's black. Like she went away altogether. Which is interesting because it's just your voice and I am the one recording the Zoom for YouTube. So
Let's see.
what that looks like. While she figures that out, speaking of saying what she's talking about having difficulty, I did have to tell one person at the grocery store to back up. So please,
oh really?
I asked them nicely, but like it was like at least 4 or 5 people on the lines. We were on the line outside of the grocery store to go in, and so probably 4 or 5 people in front of me, and then I'm on the next strip. And then there's a strip behind me. He comes directly behind me. I'm like, sir, you did not just walk past all of this line of people standing on these lines and misunderstand what you were supposed to do. And I was like, excuse me, can you back up, please? He was like, looked at me crazy. And I was like, these lines are to help with social distance. Can you please back up? And then he backed up. I had to be more specific. I was like, why are you so close to me? Starting to come back. Okay, now I see her profile picture.
Yes, I do too.
Muted. Okay, now let's see. Okay, let me see if I can turn it on from my end as the master video host. Video's back.
Yay, she's back.
Unmute you. Are you back?
I'm back.
Yeah. Cool.
Da, da, da. Just took a small little break.
Wait, did you freeze again?
Oh, did she?
Yep.
It's so funny because when she froze the first time, she was just like intently listening to us anyway. So it took me a long time to realize she was
frozen.
Yeah. And now it's like stuck on a weird smirky face.
Yes, it is really funny. What faces?
Right. That's what I like to hear.
I can still hear you, Darcy.
Well, I guess, yeah, while we can still talk about
the best Zoom in the
No Zoom.
What was I gonna say? Oh, going back to shows. Wait, you said you watched Dexter. Did you have anything else you were watching or recommend watching during this time?
Well, see, I keep wanting to call it Pretty Little Fires. And I don't even know why, because I never watched Pretty Little Liars. But the show is called Little Fires Everywhere. Okay, so I have an on and off relationship with Hulu because I don't pay for any of my streaming services. I used to not tell people that because people would be like, man, you're such a moocher. But now in coronavirus time, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm not paying for none of my streaming services, whatever. So my mom has Netflix and Amazon Prime, and then Hulu would just be like, whoever's kind enough. But because I'm not paying for it myself, I'm always just like, if it goes away because like they changed their card or whatever, or they got rid of it, I don't say anything. I'm just like, oh, it's gone now. You know, I don't want to be pushy. Beggars can't, right?
I'm like, hello, I was in the middle of
And
watching.
yeah, can you pay for one more month so I can finish my series? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. So people were talking about Little Fires Everywhere, and all I knew about it was Kerry Washington's new show. And so you know how Hulu will release 3 episodes and then they do weekly, right? So that's this week was only episode 5. So if you haven't started it, you're not that
okay. So I'm not that far behind. All right.
I watched 1 through 4 last week, and then so I'm caught up. But it's also got Reese Witherspoon. It's got Joshua Jackson, who I love.
Whoa, throwback.
Yeah. And it's set in 1997, which anything set in the 90s.
Okay, sidebar. Yeah. That very much explains Kerry Washington's haircut now, because I kept seeing trailers for this and I was like, what is this hair all about? This short hair situation. What is this?
It's very 90s. But without giving too much away, I mean, the truth is I can't really give too much away because it's so many secrets after secrets after secrets. And literally at the end of episode 5, I was like, well, just tell me. So there's not too much that I can spoil for you, but the show starts out just for premise-wise is Kerry Washington plays an artist. She's traveling with her daughter. You can see that they are probably living out of their car. And they go to this rich white town in Ohio called Shaker. And they rent a house from Reese Witherspoon's character.
Okay.
And so Reese Witherspoon and Joshua Jackson have the cookie cutter, like perfect family. They've got 2 boys, 2 girls. And they're very much like, we're not racist, we're progressive, but you know, we're very unaware.
the get out thing.
Yeah. And Kerry Washington and her daughter move around a lot because she's a photographer and artist, and she picks a house to work from, and the house is her muse, and then when she's done, they move. But her daughter likes it here and she's begged them to stay. So things unfold because they are, you know, square pegs in a round hole in that place where they're at. And it's interesting. And they're like, you know, they all have secrets, like I'm saying. And they're all kind of making shady decisions to try to keep their secrets under wraps. So that's unfolding, and I really like it.
She's back.
Darcy back?
She is back, but she's moving very glitchily. It's like this, which is weird. Oh, she's frozen again. Doggone it.
But the cast is still going on Spoon.
We may just have to do audio. Oh, man.
Yeah, and we're up to an hour 23, so we went longer than we thought we would.
Oh, yeah, and the Spoon cast lasts for 2 hours.
So, I was going to say.
Whatever.
Well.
We're just talking. But yeah, I was about to say Pretty Little Fires again. Like, I swear to God, it's not even a joke. Like, I genuinely don't remember the name at first. I say it's Little Fires Everywhere. Yeah, I definitely recommend that on Hulu. So catch up.
Well then, I know I want to start it, but I've been doing all this other stuff, and I was like, I know it seems like one of those shows where I'm going to need to pay attention, so I don't want to start it and be doing something else. And then
I haven't been doing anything. This is the one. Yeah. I put on an episode at the end of the day when I just want to watch one more thing before I go to bed. So
my plan is to start it later tonight, when I've gotten some other stuff squared away.
I told you this on Facebook, but there is a song choice in
Did.
episode 5 that I love, and it made me so happy, and the whole little like montage during that song made me so happy, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna recognize
I was gonna say,
in the first 2 seconds.
you said it, and I was just like, well, now I'm very intrigued.
Like,
what is this song?
I want to talk to you about it after you watch it. I was about to post it, and then I was like, no, I know she's not watching it yet. I don't want to be spoiled.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know how that reminded me too, but it reminded me that I did start watching something that I really liked that you guys might be into as well, or Nisha in particular you might be into. But I started watching Devs.
Oh, someone said that too.
What's Debs?
It's Nick Offerman's new show.
Oh, I do love Nick Offerman.
That's on Hulu also.
It's different because he's playing a genius, and it's more of a well, that sounds bad. He is playing a genius, but it's like a kind of more of a tragic character for him.
What's it?
But it's really
is it? Where is it airing, or who's streaming it? Okay. Hulu's rolling out the content. They said this is our time, y'all. This is.
It is.
And a lot of things about Devs too.
Yeah, it's really well done. It's more of a sci-fi, which is also interesting for Nick Offerman. But so he's a genius, and he's sort of developed this technology. His daughter passed away. They don't really go into. Haven't gotten to how exactly that happened as of yet, but he has this technology that you can go back and sort of somehow look at events that happened, actually look at them in this machine. It's really strange.
It's like a oh shoot, why am I blanking on things? A pensieve.
Sort of, but they're also like using it to like he is able to accurately predict what's going to happen in the next like 10 seconds. They have someone that like one of the characters is able to use his developed technology that accurately predicts what a piece of bacteria is going to, like its movement in the next 10 seconds, like exactly what it's going to do.
Interesting.
So they're like the government wants this technology to be able to, I guess, start predicting what like future events or things like that.
Yeah.
So this is,
I think it's a lot.
sounds interesting.
It is very interesting. We're not sure. Like Nick Offerman, everything centers around his daughter. Like he has this huge ass like statue of his daughter at the compound. It's kind of creepy, actually.
How far into it is this show?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
How far into it is it?
I'm only like, I think they're on their 4th episode.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Really?
So it's new.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so it's to the point where you're still having to wait for episodes, which is really frustrating for me because I can't binge it.
Normally that's frustrating for me, but I'm finding some kind of calm in the shows that are still
Pacing it out,
right? And that I'm glad this is not summertime too, where like my Shondaland is still every Thursday. That's some kind of like anchor in like, oh, it's
You're right. You're right.
Episode of Little Fires Everywhere. I said it right the first time.
You did it.
So I'm like, I like that. Speaking of Shondaland, the last 6 episodes of How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh my gosh. And then it'll be over.
And it's over. But I appreciate that they're not dragging it out past them.
No, it's definitely time.
They're graduating. It's time to be done.
It's time.
Yeah.
Well, has other things to do.
Yeah.
Shoot, Shonda got other things to do.
Right. That's the real world.
I'm curious, what those last few episodes are going to be like. How they're going to wrap it up. It's crazy. I also need to find out when my episode airs for the
I was just
Station
gonna say
19
that
finale.
means your next episode of Station 19
It's coming.
is coming.
I don't know when, but I should find that out. Crazy. You guys, I have not been as up on the new stuff. I think, well, you know, part of it, like I said, is like a lot of the shows people have been recommending require attention. And I've been like, oh, is this a time when I can sit down and focus and binge? The Hulu shows, like you said, help because they aren't like a whole series that I have to commit to in one night. But I did finally catch up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I love this season so far. And I'm kind of glad, even though it wasn't on purpose, I didn't realize when the new season had aired. I think it was in the midst of all this stuff starting to collide. And I remembered seeing things about it coming back, but I didn't know if it was actually happening. So I was about 7 episodes behind. But I caught up with all of them, and I love this season. I'm so happy with it. And I think I was telling my friend about it the other day. I was like, they've been having some really good guest stars this season that are hilarious. They had Vanessa Bayer from SNL, and she played a really funny character who was interesting. They brought back Nicole Byer to play a guest star character that they introduced last season, I think. They had J.K. Simmons. There's just been a lot of really fun guest stars on the show, and I've just been very amused by it. I was very into it.
You know, I've only ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine when I'm watching episodes with you, and I don't know why I haven't watched it on my own, but I think in this quarantine time, that might be the time to go back and watch a shit ton of episodes.
It's a good time to start.
It's a great show.
Start. It is a great show. Much like most of my favorite shows, the first season's going to be very different from the rest. I just started rewatching Parks and Rec, and usually when I do, because all my favorite people are from season 3 on, I just start there. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to start with season 1, and I'm always like, man, I really don't like some of the people that are in this season. Like the people that stay, like Amy Poehler and Rashida Jones and all those folks are fine, but like there's this one character in the first season, the first 2 seasons, who is just not likable or charming or funny, and I don't know how he got this gig, but I'm just always like, and he clearly lost it. At some point they were just like, it's not working for you, but like we gotta move in. Let's get Rob Lowe and Adam what's his name, Adam Scott. So, but all that to say, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is kind of the same way. Like the first season, you kind of have to get through. It's not bad, but it's not great. But they get their stride by season 2 and have some bits that are recurring that are very, very amusing. I love it.
Wow. How much time do we have, Darcy?
We have 27 minutes.
27 minutes. Do we want to talk a little bit about celebrity bedtime stories?
Oh yeah.
Well, I figure we can save the other stuff for another day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Most of the stuff isn't going to change.
Right.
And here we were thinking we wouldn't
have this topic because I was like, wait, what?
Oh, right. There have been a number of celebrities who've gotten into the bedtime story game. I don't know if these bedtime stories are supposed to be for children or adults. Some of them seem very much geared toward children. I think the first few that I heard about were definitely for kids.
Okay.
Now I think it's just whoever wants to listen to a bedtime story.
I think, the ones I kind of want to listen to are Dolly Parton. I think hers might have been geared toward adults.
Actually. No, I'm sure.
I love Dolly. So I wouldn't mind listening to her read some stories.
I'm curious what she's reading. Like, I don't know if it's, because some people have partnerships with people and they're reading either specific authors or specific genres. Like, I know one of the first people I remembered seeing, which makes the most sense, was LeVar Burton. And he was like, I really want to do like, you know, a reading story series while we're all in quarantine. But he was having trouble finding people that would give him rights to their books. And I think the first person to respond was Neil Gaiman. And he was like, I give you full permission to read anything I've written.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's been reading mostly, I think, Neil Gaiman's stuff, which is kind of cool. But then everyone else, like Josh Gad, I think he's doing children's stuff because Frozen. And I saw recently Jeff Goldblum's doing some.
I would love to listen to Jeff.
I would love to listen to his too. I bet his are not for kids.
No, here's the thing. I think they are for kids because the video I saw was Horton Hears a Who.
Oh.
But I'm fairly certain adults are going to be listening.
Yeah, because it's
I'll listen to Jeff Goldblum any day.
Jeff Goldblum has a great voice and a great walk.
Yeah.
Oh, walk.
Yes.
He's like
Jeff Goldblum,
6'7".
and Will Smith walking away in Independence Day is the best. It is the best. And I don't mean it in like a sexual or anything like that. He's just got a great walk.
I just find that hilarious that this is stuck in your mind for that long. It made that much of an impression on you.
Yeah, no. My mom will tell you too. She's like, yes, he has a great walk.
That's really funny. You should, in this time of quarantine, you should message Jeff Goldblum and say, you know what, man? I don't know. You've got a great stride, dude. I bet he'd respond and be like, oh, well.
Well, now it's going to be my mission to get Jeff Goldblum to respond to me. I'm going to tell him, sir, you have a great voice and a great walk.
You should try to get him to call into our next Spoon.
He's well, now spoon, what is this?
Spoons, spoons. Is it like the liquid spoons, like, or is it like that game? You know that game?
That's the fun.
Spoonful
Okay.
spoonful of sugar.
See, I bet he would be intrigued enough to do that.
Oh, he is an enigma.
Because I watch his thing on Disney.
Oh, I've seen
new stuff. If you introduce him,
I have seen
he'll be like spoon, but it's on your phone. I'm doing this. Let's do this. Let's download.
Now, explain to me how these spoons could translate. Do they communicate? Are we the spoons?
Can I play them?
We're the spoons.
Can I play the spoon?
Our Jeff Goldblum impressions are so good, guys.
Man, oh man. He has, along with the great walk and the great the great voice.
Yeah.
He has such interesting little tics and mannerisms, and definitely, I mean, I've noticed it in other stuff, but definitely after watching that show on Disney Plus, after watching a number of those episodes, I was just like, oh. So
hand movement. Yeah.
So
I love him so much.
Yeah.
Like he always seems like he's got this internalized like firecracker that it just wants to go off at any minute, but it not in like a way, but just like it's like a spark. It just something
like
in there.
Something is internally goosing him all the time.
Oh, could be that.
Right? He's like, that's what it's.
And he'll say things like that sometimes too. Like he'll say like, oh, it's like a lover, like just gently pats you, just you know, like do you ever have that? Just like what?
Oh man.
He's crazy.
I love him.
Okay, but before we jump off the reading thing, what I wanted to say was the last thing I saw before I closed the chat for us to start this was there was a video of Samuel L. Jackson doing a bedtime story, but the story is stay the F at home.
See, I scrolled past it because I was like, oh, this is old. But is he doing it again?
I don't know. I don't know when it first went up.
At home.
Yeah.
Not go the F to sleep.
No.
Got it. Yes. Yeah.
So this is, I guess, a continuation on that. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
you guys.
I will definitely be watching it.
I have a guy who did a song about staying at home. It's an older gentleman. I could play it. It's short.
Okay.
You're
Smiles
like,
to me.
Your face is very scary.
It shouldn't be scary. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if it's something I can pull up and actually play real quick here. I didn't even think about that. We could have music on the spoon, and it's in honor.
Is it copywritten?
I don't think so. Let me look into it real quick.
Mm-hmm. We don't want someone to take us down.
I mean, it was, let's see. If I can get it to pull up. Miles sent it to me, and like he thanks a guy who wrote the lyrics. It's a little ditty that an older gentleman is playing on the piano. Let's see here.
I love the phrase "little ditty."
I can't remember if this is something I've seen or not. Sounds familiar, but I can't recall. Little ditty about Jack and
That's exactly what was going through my head right now. Damn it, Ranisha.
Trying to see if it'll show up.
Darcy, you were supposed to be done by the time I got to the end of the music.
I know. It's
how it works.
I'm trying to find out where it came from. It just says, whose grandpa is this? Who is this man? Ugh, it is the best. Yeah, it doesn't have any information as to who it is. He just thanks the guy who wrote the lyrics for him and sent it to him to sing a song.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's copyrighted. I don't think it can be copywritten or not. It's had 967,000 shares.
Aye. Well, go on ahead and play it because
I don't think it's got a copyright on it. But here's a little ditty. Let's see if it'll play here.
Thank you to Chris Franklin for these lyrics. The world has caught a virus, so I've written you a poem. We need your help to cure it, so stay the fuck at home. And if you have got 12 kids or you're living on your own, lock it down and isolate and stay the fuck at home. If you think you're not at risk here, you're living in a dome. It spreads faster than a hooker's leg, so stay the fuck at home. I need the gym, I need the beach, I hear you bitch and moan. You need to grow a brain cell and stay the fuck at home. But I feel fine, I don't feel sick. I'll go out on my own. How thick are you selfish prick? Please just stay the fuck at home. From LA through to Berlin, from Wuhan to Rome, there's people dying every day, so stay the fuck at home. If you need to contact family, use Facebook, Skype, or phone. We've got the fucking internet, so stay the fuck at home. The only way to slow it down is isolate, not roam. Please help the world get back on track and stay the fuck at home. Stay the fuck at home, stay the fuck at home. Don't you be a fucking dick, please stay the fuck at home. Stay the fuck at home.
Stay the fuck at home.
It's this adorable old man. I love him so much.
Well,
a catchy tune.
I think that's a good place to end. With that note,
I'd say so.
You need to stay the fuck at home. Everybody, stay the fuck at home. Listen to some podcasts. I don't know when we'll be back, but we'll be back because we are staying the fuck at home. Yeah. Okay.
So goodbye.
Are you back? Are you back? You ended?
See you later. later.
Bye. Thanks, Julie, for listening to the whole time.
Yeah.
All right. How do I shut this dang thing off? No, I'm just kidding.